Welcome back. Happy to have Charles King of Philander Smith College back with us to help us analyze the local political landscape as we head into the election. And good to have you. The polls out today from the Hendricks College poll would tend to indicate that Democrat Chris Jones in the governor's race is overperforming at this point. He's still 10 percentage points behind, though. Which is actually pretty good around here.
Absolutely.
Based on what you've seen of the major campaigns, how do you think Sarah Huckabee Sanders and Chris Jones might play out in a more purple state?
Well, I would tell you first on the poll, I think that it's a result of the hard work that Chris is doing. You know, he can't get any face-to-face other than earlier today over in Conway. So it may not be overpolling, but the purple part, I think that's a very interesting question. Arkansas is so red that you would think that it's a down and out case. But I think that people are beginning to say, let me take a second look at this.
Do you think it says anything about the future of the state, especially since, we'll say at least 3 of our Washington leaders and the likely incoming governor would seem to have a profile for national office of some kind?
Well, Arkansas has been very fortunate over the last 20 to 40 years to always have someone on the radar for a national office. We've been successful once with Bill Clinton. Who knows, it may happen again, but I don't think it's going to happen with anyone that's coming up right now.
Let's go from national down to hyper-local here. A lot of folks are focusing on the mayor's race right here in Little Rock. What do you make of the recent, or call it recent, full-on embrace of seemingly progressive policies from Mayor Frank Scott Jr.? He's now a gun sense candidate. He's been endorsed by Planned Parenthood, and all this amid the disputes over crime rates in different big cities. What do you make of this shift? How much of it do you think was brought on by his opponent, Steve Landers, at this point?
Well, not much by Steve. I think that the crime rate in Little Rock is a reflection of everything that's happened across the country. Now that Mayor Scott has had almost 4 years in office, he's been tested on the left and on the right, and I think he's coming to a good spot that if he's successful, as the polls say that he will be, then he'll probably move more to the moderate or purple, if you would.
It's funny how the Little Rock race is kind of complicated to explain, and it'll be one that we probably have to do a lot of explanations on election night because it's got that runoff. Do you feel like there's enough momentum in the city for Mayor Scott to get to 40%, or any of the candidates to get to 40% first time out?
You're absolutely right. It's all about the numbers, and we know that Arkansas has one of the lowest voter turnouts. It's not a presidential election year, so we don't know who's going to come out. I think we're going to end up with a runoff, but we ended up with the runoff the last time, and Mayor Scott prevailed at that time, and we'll see what happens this time. I think he will.
Really quickly while I've got you, from a wider focus, what would you think if I had told you several years ago that a black Little Rock politician, the likes of Eddie Armstrong, would be on the precipice of bringing legal marijuana to this state? How does that strike you when you say it that way?
Well, I tell you, first of all, Eddie Armstrong, no matter what color he was, he's a smart guy. So if anybody could do it, Eddie Armstrong could. And he's done a great job at it. The numbers show that almost 2-to-1 that Arkansas will be in favor of it. And I'm really glad that they had this opportunity to bring it to the forefront.
It's I've heard other people analyze Arkansas as it's a very red state, but it's a very populous state, and it would seem that Responsible Growth Arkansas has tapped into some of that populism, and they're headed towards getting that ballot across.
Yeah, if you look at the last 25 years of transition from being one of the only southern blue states to a red state, you pretty much have the same people voting today that voted 25 years ago when we were blue. So go figure.
It's fascinating stuff. It will continue to be that as we head towards election night. Charles King, thank you for being with us. We're going to have more when we come back.
All right.